Time to recap weekend 2 of the beta, plenty of new things to talk about. Can kick off with the big new edition of Ground War. I had both good and bad experiences in Ground War, but overall I had a great time with it, and I'm really glad it's in the game as a new thing to mess around with. I also completely understand how it may not at all be what you're looking for. Maybe you don't boot up COD to play Scuffed Battlefield, fair enough, but I loved it. I'm willing to consider that could be because my expectations were not high. Going into it, I was picturing that Ground War map that they showed off at the reveal event, and I thought it looked boring there. It didn't look like it played that differently from any normal COD match, just more people on a bigger map, which meant a lot of clustery camping to control the middle building. I don't remember there being much elevation change on that other map, so the lines of sight weren't even that long. This quarry map kind of blew me away with how open it is. You can see from one side to the other, you can be on any rooftop, you can climb up the cliffs on the side if you want to, just go anywhere. At first I only had fun sniping, and maybe a third of the lobby was sniping. I was wondering why it wasn't 100%. I felt like I was that guy who makes the airsoft videos and edits in hit markers. I'm sure YouTube's recommended that to everyone at some point, right? It was a lot of fun to try that playstyle in such an open arena, where I didn't feel like the game was limiting my decision making. Of course, to balance how overpowered sniping would be, they added a very prominent sniper scope glint, so you can see when a sniper might be aiming at you. Yeah, good call on that, 100% necessary, even if not completely realistic for the sun to be at every angle all the time. That's fine, it makes the game playable. I eventually did get a little bored of the pace of that playstyle, and tried running around fighting in those middle warehouse buildings, and yeah, it was hectic, but that ended up being a lot of fun too. Never in a regular COD match would you be able to sneak into an enemy-occupied building and run up on 8 people all not looking at you, and of course I'll be choking that horribly, but it's fun to chase those big moments. Also, using launchers to clear buildings was comedy gold. I started to realize a launcher was often a better sniper than a sniper. And just wait for that javelin. Imagine not only using it as intended, that'll be cool, but I can't wait to indoor javelin some people. The old strat of standing inside and locking onto something out a window and letting it fly. I may be a terrible person. Kill streaks were a lot of fun too, even low ones like the cruise missile or the airstrike, which is difficult to get any good use of in a TDM. Those become a lot of fun to call in when you can smack a tank with it and get a big multi-kill. Spawns are rough, I will acknowledge, and they've recognized that too. They said it'd be a big focus in preparing for launch. I know you're partially responsible for where you spawn in Ground War. You can choose safe or dangerous, but I'm never gonna spawn at HQ. That was the worst spawn of all. When the game sometimes defaulted me down there, just meant I was gonna kill myself to respawn. So yes, you can choose your danger level, but the game should be putting in an effort to not spawn you directly in front of enemy crosshairs, and it wasn't doing a very good job at that. Well, I don't see myself only playing Ground War, but I do like it, and I'll like it even more when Harriers aren't shooting through the roof and people aren't glitching under the map, and maybe cut down the number of tanks. At the very least, I think I know where I'll be getting my sniper challenges done. Next, I could talk about playing the game on PC, because I've been talking about wanting that for a while now, and it has been great. I love having FOV back, it feels smooth. Not perfect, but I won't spend too much time covering bugs. To my knowledge, all the serious problems have been acknowledged, like some frame rate bugs with animations, some blurriness, some settings not saving, the ADS sensitivity multipliers didn't do anything. On the not as serious side of bugs, I'd appreciate the game not launching with Bravo 6 going deaf, although hopefully the intro can just be deleted on PC, I didn't look into that. I also had some airstrikes freeze. I never saw that until the final day. Every time a teammate called in a new airstrike, it just spawned a new frozen strafing run in the sky. That was amusing. And of course, those truck animations on Azir Cave and Gunrunner still drive you straight through the gate. Quality stuff.
Hey, you.
Thankfully, what I'd consider to be some of the biggest overall problems with the beta, they have talked about. Like I'd say, the spawns, they need some work, and they said they would be. Whatever they can do in a month, we'll see. And the lighting as well, looking out of dark areas and into dark areas. It's a neat, realistic effect to be adjusting to the light level that you're in, but definitely needs some tuning for gameplay. And then the black and white wounded screen only makes it more impossible to see people in dark situations. That party forming bug, obviously, too bad they couldn't get that ironed out before week 2. but I can move on. They said they'd be working on all that. PC's been great, I love how it feels, and now being matched with more PC players, I can't say I notice any skill level difference in the players, and I didn't expect one. What I did notice is the game felt much less campy, and I had a lot more fun being able to run around. I think that's pretty well accepted that the PC playstyle is generally more active. Maybe when you can flick your aim around, it's easier to react to people, or our attention spans are just too short for sitting around. Maybe I'll try experimenting with disabling crossplay to see if I feel any difference when I'm only playing PC people, but I'm sure I'll have it on most of the time. Crossplay is really neat. I don't think I've given enough credit for the inclusion of it in this game and how it's just been working so far. The cross-platform voice chat doesn't disappoint.
You're on PC, oh my god. Oh, you're on PC, people, what the fuck? Oh my god! Games can't though. Okay, this... Dude, you might as well cancel the
Kill yourself, move! God damn, dude! You were born to fucking do that, dumb fuck! Kill yourself, stupid! Get rid of console, bitch!
Wow.
Xbox off!
Alright.
This dude said Xbox off. I love being able to hop in a lobby with any friend on any system, plus not be fearing a less popular game mode being too underpopulated to play later in the year. People ask all the time how it was with Black Ops 4 on PC. I never had any problems with it. The population was great when I was playing for it and going for 100%, but I know that after I was gone, they did do a condensing of the game modes. Now, to clear up how crossplay is working once and for all, because they went over it earlier in the week, but I still see people clinging to what they said before, which was matchmaking will be based on input device. Well, not quite. It isn't strictly limited to input device. It's just one factor. They said, in general, we will try to keep the same control schemes together, but we will allow them to mix in cases of not finding a high-quality connection match, or there aren't enough people, or you're in a party of mixed controls. So yes, they can mix even without parties. I did mostly match with PC people, but here I went into quick play solo, and I got put in this match with only console people. So yes, it can happen. Maybe most of you understand this by now, but I still got some people telling me on the drop shot video, for example, this isn't a problem, Sour. Keyboard will only ever be playing against keyboard. No, that is not the case, and I know you can disable crossplay, but my understanding of that is that you'll only play with people on the system that you're on, like only with PS4 players or only with Xbox players, but you can use a controller or a keyboard on any platform. So crossplay disabled or not, you can prevent playing with PC, but you can't completely prevent facing mouse and keyboard. Not that I think that's a big problem. That debate always rages about mouse versus controller, and I agree so far as a mouse being a more accurate input method. That is true, but I've put in time with both, and when we're talking average players, controllers aren't going to have any trouble keeping up. The advantage a mouse has might be amplified in a BR type of game where you need to be swiveling around and aim assist isn't as big of a thing, but in regular Modern Warfare, like I could point to those gunfight matches on one of the COD event streams recently where Scump's team defeated Shroud and his partner in the 2v2s, controller versus mouse. I don't know what other factors were at play there, and gunfight is mostly head-on-head engagement, which maybe helps controller. Whatever, I'm not trying to make a strong argument for either side. The only point I'm trying to make is that neither input method is an auto win. You gotta be good either way. They can easily compete with each other, and if you're one of the people mad about crossplay, you really shouldn't be. I might honestly still do better with a controller at this point, but I enjoy keyboard and mouse, and it's a skill I'm wanting to continue to improve at. One more bit of news from last week that I didn't want to brush over was PS4 exclusivity changes. Honestly, a huge deal that I didn't see nearly enough celebration about. The PlayStation COD partnership is still a thing, but they've said that, quote, most post-launch gameplay content, including new multiplayer maps, game modes, special ops missions, and more, will release at the same time on every platform. Now, I know they were careful to write most post-launch content, so that leaves the door open for them to have a new gun launch on PS4 or whatever else, but that is huge, to me at least. I think that was the worst part about the exclusivity. New maps, modes, Spec Ops missions, and more? Hell yeah, goes perfectly with the crossplay. For the first time in a decade, we're all gonna get shit at the same time. Crazy. Now, they did also say that PlayStation players would get an exciting Day 1 advantage. All PS4 players will have permanent stopping power rounds. No, I made that part up. We don't know what the exciting Day 1 advantage is, but dude, no problem. I am fine with that. I don't know what that could possibly be, except for like a week of double XP for PS4 players maybe. I really don't care. Go wild. Enjoy your double XP. Getting maps and modes and events at the same time is massive, because there was never any hype left a week later on those things. Never mind a month later, like the old days with DLC packs. So in case you happened to miss that bit of news, I just wanted to bring it to light, because I think it's amazing. So I'd say I definitely had more fun on this second weekend. I love being on PC, no more scuffed setup. I was pleasantly surprised by Ground War, and I feel like I've been adjusting well to the game. So the countdown begins, 1 month to launch, assuming they can get the big issues fixed up, and with all that juicy progression in place, the camos, challenges, I'm really looking forward to this game. And between now and then, I'm sure we'll have some Campaign and Spec Ops news to discuss when they do their reveals for those. Looking forward to it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.